the higher a woman's IQ, the less likely she is to get married. Now, the lady, well, you want young and dumb. Yes, correct. We want young and dumb.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Mahdi Tijani back with you. I'm going to be reacting to my own video today. But before I play that to you, I'm going to play another video to you of a comedian saying the exact same thing, but in a humorous fashion. And it's interesting because if you can make people laugh, you can say some of the most bombastic, socially unacceptable things and still get away with it.
I like it when girls are dumb, to be honest. Not too dumb. I don't want like completely just, not, just walking out in the middle of traffic and be like, not like irresponsible dumb. But if you don't know a lot of shit, I don't care, right? Sometimes girls get mad when guys say that. It's like, oh, you like dumb girls? What, are you intimidated by a smart girl? Like, no, I don't really need a smart chick because here's the thing. Logically, it's not going to get me laid. Girls like smarter dudes. Therefore, you need to be dumber than me if I want to fuck, right? If you're smarter than me, you're not going to want to fuck me. So you need to be dumb, all right? That's just kind of the way it works, right? And that's why guys sexualize women a little bit more than women sexualize men. You hear that a lot of times, like media, it gets brought up every couple years. It's like young girls know at 5 years old, 7 years old that they're seen as sexual objects in the media and blah, blah, blah. I hear that. A lot of people get pissed off. This fucking bullshit. And I get it. You don't want people to, it's uncomfortable to feel sexualized when you're not in that mood. But the reason why that happens is because women like guys that are better than them, right? Like women are attracted to men that are better than them a lot of different ways. Like women like guys that are older than them, taller than them, stronger than them, smarter than them, makes more money, right? That makes sense. Those are attractive qualities in a man. That's cool. But that means to the guy, you're younger than me, shorter than me, weaker than me, dumber than me, poor. Well, what is there to like? Your ass and titties. All right, there you go. Now you see, all right? So until girls start fucking younger, shorter, weaker, dumber, poor guys, that joke's gonna be true. Don't be mad at me, ladies. Go fuck the fat 16-year-old bald homeless kid outside, all right? Change the stereotype. You can do it. Don't be mad at me.
Just take a moment here. I'm just going to sit here and just take a moment. Where do we start? Is there even any need? Do I even have a video to make? That's it. It's done. Conversation closed. It's finished. Women look for men who are superior to them in every single regard. That's a woman's mating strategy. Absolutely fine. But guess what that means? If you're looking for your superior, it means you are his inferior. I'll say it again. If you are looking for your superior, it means, it necessitates by default that you are his inferior. What's so difficult to grasp about that? Now, young and dumb. Let's address the first point, young. Obviously, because younger girls, younger women are more desirable. Period. I don't want to hear the whole, oh, you can be beautiful in your 40s and 50s. Yeah, I'm sure you can. But you looked better in your 20s. You looked better in your late teens and 20s. And I'm gonna speak to the late teens and early 20s girls in a second. And now, as for dumb, now, of course, Taban, we don't want a woman who's a donkey, who's going to walk out in the street and just be like, what? No. But you see, because Western civilization has advanced so much, even if you have just a high school education, you finished school when you were 16 years old, you are still way more advanced than what a human being of the same age range would have been just 100 years ago. Most people are illiterate. High school education is a high level of education now. You're smart. If you passed your GCSEs and you didn't fail, you're smart. You're not stupid. You're not stupid. Now, a lot of the girls get upset about this. Oh, but I want to pursue my career and so on. What are you telling me? I'm going to speak to the young girls right now. Listen to me very, very carefully. Your primary agency, what makes you most desirable, what makes you most attractive, what makes you most valuable to a man is your youth, beauty, fertility. Your youth, beauty, fertility, not your bleeding degree. We don't care. We don't care. We don't give two hoots about your damn degree. Actually, your degree will probably bring with it a bunch of strings and problems that we are going to have to bear the brunt of. If you marry a man with £50,000 of debt and you get a registry marriage, guess what? He shares that debt with you. That's not a very savory prospect. Couple that with the fact that most people don't do anything with their degrees nowadays, such that to the point that this is so universally accepted that most people do nothing with their degrees. That I heard one Arab family say, the father said to his child, go to university and get a degree. It doesn't matter if you do nothing with it, at least you can put it in the drawer. At least you can put that certificate in the drawer. This is the height of working class stupidity, ignorance at its finest, absolute moronic stupidity. So stupid. It's no wonder most of us are average. It's no wonder we think like thickos. We are thick. I'm going to go to university, or I'm going to advise my child to go to university with no plan whatsoever of a career path, of a clear, identifiable career path, something where there is at least a target at the end. For example, if I want to become a doctor, then yes, I need to go to university. But no, there's no clearly identified end point. But I'm going to tell him or her, my child, go to university, saddle yourself for £50,000 worth of debt, because that's what it is now, there or thereabouts. And it doesn't matter if you do nothing with it, at least you can put it in the drawer. The height of moronic stupidity and ignorance. And universities love you for it. You thicko, you absolute moron. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Degrees don't hold the same weight like they used to. And that's the only excuse that I will give our older generation, is that, you know, the baby boomers and then Gen X after them, degrees in their time when they were young, when they were in their 20s, actually held weight. You were almost guaranteed a job after you left university. I don't know what the exact percentage is now of graduates who actually get jobs in their field, but I know that's a meaningless percentage. Why? Supply and demand. Everyone has a degree now. It's simple economics. The more people that have a degree, the less valuable your degree becomes. Period. Now, I've already made a distinction. If you have a clearly defined career path that you want to achieve, then you're going to have to go through university, and you have a goal, and you have a mission that you have to accomplish. Fine, no problem. You want to become a doctor, you have to go to university. You want to become an engineer, you go to university. These are clearly identified goals which require university. Okay, fine. Now you're going to have to see how you source that finance, because the loans are interest based at university. But that's a discussion for another time. And Mohim, most people who go to university, the vast majority, don't have a clearly identifiable goal. So then for what are you going for? This is for men and women alike. Now, let's address the ladies in particular, because that's what my video was referring to. What makes you most valuable, sisters, most desirable to a man is your youth and beauty. I know that's an unflattering truth for you to hear. You want to feel like you've earned it. You want to feel like you want your, education and your degree and your masters to be appreciated. We don't give a flying F word. We don't give a flying F word. We don't. That's great, fantastic. It's like you coming to me coming to you and trying to impress you with my yo-yo collection that I've been building over the years. I've got like 50 yo-yos that I collected, or 100 yo-yos since I was a kid. And you're like, yeah, do you like my yo-yo collection? You're like, yeah, okay, cool, whatever. That's the exact same thing. What men care about the most is your youth, beauty, fertility. Now, some of the older women, to my younger sisters, and I'm talking to you right now, will be giving you terrible advice right now. Terrible advice, because they don't want to see you succeed and be happy. And when I say succeed and be happy, what makes women happiest is not a career. These are masculine goals. It's a masculine goal to want to get a career and be successful and so on and so forth in a working capacity. Those are masculine traits. Those things don't make women happy. I was watching a podcast with Jordan Peterson around a year ago, and he does a lot of therapy. Is it therapy or is it consulting? One of the two, with highly qualified professionals, females, highly qualified, high-powered individuals, lawyers and so forth. And he said, these girls get to around 28, 29, 30, and they're like, F this job. I want to get married and have babies. Because that's where a woman's natural inclination is, not the career. Those are masculine objectives, masculine goals. But the problem is, she gets to 28, 29, 30, you're not as desirable anymore. And you're definitely not as desirable to the men that you are aiming for. Now, this is where it gets really tricky. When you as a woman become successful in your career, I don't know, you become, you get a master's or you get a PhD or you become a doctor of some sort, or I don't know what the case may be. Just think of something whereby you're successful in your career. You've now shot yourself in the foot when it comes to finding yourself a spouse. Why? The higher a woman's IQ, the less likely is she will be married. Why? Because women don't marry down. Again, women don't marry men dumber than them, shorter than them, weaker than them, on and on. You're hypergamous. And that applies even to a PhD woman. A man who has a bachelor's degree is not dumb by any stretch. He's not dumb at all. But to a woman who has a PhD, you're dumb. So now she's shrunk her options to a minuscule percentage. In the UK, less than 1.4% of men have a PhD. That's not including all the married men. That's not including all the gay men or the transsexual men, and so on and so on. That's 1.4% of all men. So you shoot yourself in the foot. Ladies, you shoot yourself in the foot when you prioritize career goals, which are masculine-oriented goals, over marriage, which is what makes a woman really happy and fulfilled. Marriage and children. That's what really makes her happy and fulfilled. And I had a sister in my inbox a while back now. She messaged me, she said to me, you know what, Mahdi? I'm 30 years old now. I got married when I was 19. I did my final year exams in university, third year exams, when I was pregnant with a child. So she got married, she continued university, but she's smart. She got married first. And now she said, I'm pregnant with my fourth or fifth child, I don't remember, and I'm still happily married. But here's the real kicker. She said, my friends, so many of them, are miserable. Single and miserable because they got their degrees, they established themselves in careers, and now men don't want them. Why? Because the men that they want, those men are looking at the younger girls. Why would he deal with an older woman who's way past her prime in terms of her beauty, who's way past her prime in terms of her fertility? Why would a man who's established in his field, he's gone through all that graft now, he's finally established himself, why on earth would he look at a 30-year-old woman who's past her prime in her beauty and is past her prime in her fertility? Why would he do that? 35 years old is geriatric pregnancy, old people pregnancy. You're not old, but your eggs are. Your eggs are old by the time you hit 35. Women have to sort out their pairing problem from a much younger age than men do. So to the young sisters watching, don't listen to the older single women telling you to do your career and delay marriage. They are bitter and don't want to see you succeed. They don't want to see you succeed and be happy because you represent competition to them and they know it. You represent competition to them and they know it. They know it. They know they can't compete with you. With all their degrees, with all of their PhDs and whatever the case may be, they can't compete with your youth and beauty. They can't. Because that's what a man values the most. Not to mention that younger girls are more likely to be able to adapt to the lifestyle, to the what's the word I'm looking for? To the habits of her husband than an older woman. Never forget when someone in my extended family, she got married when she was 18 years old. And I never forget when the mother-in-law said to me, she said to me, Matt, you know what? I'm so glad that we got this girl at 18. I said to her, why is that? She said, because now she can mold herself to our way of life. Those were her exact words. That's a woman who said that, not a man. That was her mother-in-law who said that to me. She said she can mold herself to our way of life. We've got a way of doing things. You know, it's just cultural stuff. We got a way of doing things. We've got a system here. And it's much easier for a younger girl to adapt to our system than an older girl. It's common sense. Companies do this all the time when they're employing new employees. They're employing new blood. I'll never forget when I was 24 years old, my father said to me, Mahdi, you know, you should consider becoming a pilot. I was like, what? Where did that come from? He said, I just saw a job application the other day, but BA have put a cap on it, 25 years old, max. No one over 25. Why? Younger people are more malleable. In general, men and women. Men and women. It's not an exception. This is not exceptional just for women. It's both sexes. But you see, the thing is, a woman is getting onto a man's program when it comes to marriage. He's not getting onto her program. He doesn't need to adapt himself to her. She's the one looking for her superior, stronger, more intelligent, I've lost my trail of thought. Stronger, faster, more intelligent, richer, on and on. She's looking for her superior. Right, well, if that's the case, then it means you're on his program. So he doesn't adapt to you. You adapt to him. By 2030, Merrill Lynch, was it Merrill Lynch? Or was it Procter & Gamble? Procter & Gamble or Merrill Lynch, one of those two banks. These banks, they like to forecast for the future, far into the future, to see which investments will be most lucrative 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20 years from now even sometimes. Why? So that they can make their investments from now and then reap the benefits in the future. And from their research, what they found was, according to current trends, by the time we reach 2030, over 45% of women aged between 25 and 44 will be single and childless. And they're preparing an entire economy for it. You might hear this, the jokes on social media. I'll start investing in boxed wine and cat food from right now. Why? Because single women in their 40s tend to have cats and like to buy a lot of boxed wine. That's the joke. Do you, sister, want to become one of those stats? Do you? I've said it before. If you get to 25 years old as a woman and you're still not married, you're in big trouble. Make no mistake about it. You are in big trouble. The clock is ticking. You're not getting any more beautiful. You're not getting any younger, and you're not getting any more fertile. And guess what? You are in direct competition with the younger bimbos. I love how older women like to say that, oh, they're younger, they're bimbos. Bullshit. Did you consider yourself a bimbo when you were younger? On the contrary. Those girls are far more likely to be more malleable and be able to adjust to their husband's way of life than an older woman is. If you haven't clocked this game, ladies, by the time you're 25, you are in trouble. Big, big trouble. So to the younger girls watching this now, this is my advice to you. You've been given a gift that you were born with. That is your youth and your beauty. Take advantage of it and cash it in before you can't. Because that youth and beauty is there until it's not. That's the way it goes. That's life. And what men look for predominantly is youth and beauty. And the more successful a man you want, the more intelligent a man, the more strong a man, the more desirable a man you want, guess what? The fussier he is on the women he chooses. The higher up the totem pole of a man that you want, the fussier that man is on the type of woman he wants. Why? Because he can afford to be. The higher up the totem pole a man is, the more options he has to choose from. And he's going to pick from the best of those options. Stop wasting time. Don't pay attention to your bitter older counterparts. Ignore them. Ignore them. Take advantage of your youth and beauty and seal the deal right now. Don't waste your time with this unless you've got a clear destination of what you want to do with your education. A clear destination. And you are sure that you're going to make a career out of it. Because even if you have a clear destination, you're most probably not going to make a career out of it anyway once you get married and have kids. Because that's just what happens. Women tend to stay at home, men tend to go to work. You might do a part-time thing here and there, but is it really worth procrastinating your getting married over? Is it really worth saddling yourself with £50,000 worth of debt? Think! 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 Hit that like, hit the subscribe. I'm out.